Let's experiment with the round function. Here, there are two options, round and chamfer. Let's choose round. In this window, it wants you to choose an edge or a corner, like this, to convert it to a round with the radius of 5. Let's say we want to convert this edge to a round with the radius of 5. As you can see, now it's a round. Now let's say we want to convert all of the edges on this face to a round of 5. So we choose here face. This face, all of the edges are converted to a round. Now let's assume we want the whole feature to have edges with the round of 5. We choose this feature and we select the whole feature. Now as you can see, all of the edges are gone and we have edges or rounds with the radius of 5. Okay. Now let's explore further. Let's go to options. Now we had constant radius option, which converted all of the edges to equally 5 radiuses. Now how about if we want to have variable radiuses? We choose this one. Okay. And let's choose a face. I want this face to have radius. All of the edges will have radius, but not equally. So let's hit OK. I want this point to have the radius of 15. And then I want that point to have the radius of 10. So what happened here is, it started with 15, it turned to a 10, and then it converted all the way around to 15 again. Now let's set more points actually. Let's say we want this point to be 1. So we've set different radiuses, and therefore the radiuses are being non-continuous or variable radius. Now let's say we want to do other things. So let's go and explore blend. Here, there are many important functions to consider, but I want you to explore it yourself. I will show you a couple of them. Let's say simplest ones, chamfer. You choose two faces and it will give it a chamfer of your choosing. There is also bevel. It will do similar job in a different way. But the main thing I want you to learn here is something very interesting. Let's say we want to have the radius all the way from here, this edge, to this edge, and follow the form. Here is a smaller radius, here is larger radius. So how do we do that? Normally, when we choose constant radius, if we increase the value long enough or high enough, we might have error. As you can see, here we have an error because it cannot go that much. Then we have to use another option. So let's try that option. The radius doesn't matter here. We can go. And this time we will use tangent hold line. You press on that and it wants you to choose edges. We want it to come from this edge to that edge. As you can see, it is a radius with a curve. That's amazing. Let's hit OK, preview, and finish. Well, there are other things as well. Until now, we've been talking about constant radiuses, let's say, or any radius that has the same amount of radius on both sides, equal radiuses, like this. So how about if we want it to be a very specific type? So we go to blend option again, tangent, we change that to conic. And let's say we want it here, right? Now it's not much obvious right now, but we can change the value here and see what happens. Let's say 5. What happened here is we have a sharp radius here and then smooth radius there. And now once we're done, we press OK and finish. Perfect. Now there is one more option I'd like to consider in the rounds, and it's called surface blend. Surface blend is similar to blend, but it works only on surfaces. Surfaces are those purple parts. Okay? And more about surfacing I will teach later on. Here is surfacing window. Let's start here. So we have the same options as blend. So I will choose the simplest one. Let's say from here to here with 5. And it wants you to choose which direction you want it to be. And obviously we want them to the same direction. And here we have a new blend. Perfect. Finish. Done. Now, if you're interested to learn more about advanced blends with surfaces, I will show you one thing. Let's remove these and go to surfacing. And here you can choose bounded and single so that you can choose only one edge at a time. So here's one of the best rounds you can have. 1, 2, 3, and then we say it will follow there all the way like that. Let's hit OK and then finish. But this is a surface. This is not a part of this yet. So therefore, we go to Home and we go here, Add Body, and then we say Union, which means combining this part with this surface. And now we have magic. We have a round made with surface that follows along all the edges. Perfect. So let's experiment with the last type of round option called chamfer. So what is chamfer? A chamfer is a cut on the edge or corner of something that makes it slope slightly rather than being perfectly square. So let's choose and see what happens. Let's choose this chain. As you can see, it did some sort of cutting here. The cutting is triangular shaped. And if we further analyze it, you can see that this line and this line are equal, meaning this is 45 degrees of chamfer. Well, how about if we don't want it to be equal like this? There are many options for that. So let's go to angle and setback. Okay. Now instead it wants us to choose this chain. Okay. And then wants us to give a setback and angle. I think these are pretty good to explain what it does. So let's choose this edge. Now, as you can see, we have 2 millimeter cutout inside, okay? And with the 10 degrees angle. Now, let's say we don't want to play around with the angles. Let's say we want 2 setbacks. So, let's choose a face or a chain. Hit OK. And then let's play around with numbers here. Let's say we're satisfied with that. Press there. And as you can see, 2mm from this direction and 7mm from that direction, and then there is triangular shape. Perfect. It does the cutout, and here we have our last chamfer option. Let's hit OK, finish. We're happy. Now we've explored all the rounding functions as well as one surfacing bonus function. Perfect.